it's going to be a furious and fast start.
The last race in Val di Sole changed everything.
This is the crash. Oh, it looks like she's hurt her wrist there. A dramatic race. That is definitely an attack. It looks like Neff is out of this one, but it's a good gap now that Mark Wojtowska has. This is going to be an absolutely massive win.
A surprising women's winner and a new challenger in the men's race for Nino Schurter.
Kirschbaumer. And Kirschbaumer goes by Schurter. It'll be a game of cat and mouse now. Schurter now to the front.
But it wasn't enough this time.
Nino Super Schurter is going to do it again. What a ride for Kirschbaumer though, his best ever World Cup finish.
Vallnord is the 5th of 7 World Cup races this year, and the high altitude will add a new challenge for everyone. The Mercedes-Benz UCI Mountain Bike World Cup travels to Andorra. Right at the centre of the Pyrenees lies Vallnord, a well-established World Cup venue with the first race being held here in 2008. It also hosted the World Championships in 2015. Thousands of mountain bike fans made their way up to the pits on top of the mountain. It's going to be a hot race day, so let's check the track. It's time for some high-altitude racing. The cross-country course in Andorra measures 3.8 kilometres and has a vertical climb of 206 metres. With the start being at 1,901 metres, it is the highest race of the season, so air will be thin. A new start area is followed by a newly added climb, Pyrenees area, an uphill with 17% gradient. It's easy to lose traction, but an ideal place to overtake. GoPro Hill, a rocky uphill and downhill section where riders need to find the right line to carry speed and keep the flow. Mercedes-Benz area. This climb stands like a wall in front of the rider. The longest climb tests the rider's power and fitness. Feed zone. Refuelling the body is essential. Don't miss a bottle, as this can affect things dramatically. La Massana, the forest. Flowy and a fast single track downhill to recover a bit, followed by a technical uphill. Andorra Telecom Corner. 3 switchback climbs where the right line can decide who goes first into the last few hundred metres. After Annika Langvad's crash and a DNF in the last race, Jolanda Neff leads the World Cup. But Langvad is still Miss Short Track. Short track racing and high altitude, a combination which can be physically challenging for the riders.
This one here is totally different, it's high altitude, so I think we can expect everything. I feel really good after last Sunday, so yeah, I will fight for it.
Inspired by her cross-country win in Val di Sole, Wojtowska took the lead right from the start. So far, all 3 short-track races went to Denmark's Annika Langvad, but there was a question mark over her form after the crash and her injured wrist from Val di Sole.
I mean, I had a little bit of a chaotic week trying to figure out if I could even start the race. Luckily, my hand improved day by day, and now it's actually only a little bit sore, but I can easily ride my bike.
Langvad took control of the race in lap 3 of 7, but the Swiss riders Alessandra Keller and Jolanda Neff pushed hard to break Langvad's grip on the race. Neff managed to open a gap to the rest of the field, but it was too early and she paid the price.
I should have probably started to overtake her earlier,
But then, Alessandra was in the front in the perfect place. Like I was in the front a few laps earlier, and that's how I got a bit of a gap. And then Alessandra did it perfectly well in the last lap.
It was her fellow countrywoman Alessandra Keller who attacked and rode away to secure her first ever short track World Cup win.
I had already a good season and a few good short tracks, and I know here's altitude. I raced on a full suspension, so you never know what's gonna happen, and yeah, I'm totally happy.
Three-time short track winner Annika Langvad sprinted to second, while Barbara Benko completed the top three. World Cup leader Jolanda Neff finished in fourth. 8 different nations in the top 10 with the first short track win for a Swiss rider. Jolanda Neff is still leading the overall. However, Annika Langvad has closed the gap to a mere 27 points.
A 6-lap sufferfest awaits. And we're underway then here in the Pyrenees. And it's Jolanda Neff with the number 1 plate straight to the front. She's not scared of the altitude. As everyone makes it safely around that first turn. We're now at the top of the first climb. And it's Neff leading Kate Courtney. Emily Batty goes through in third. Langvad, number 2 in the series. Chasing Neff in the overall standings, of course, after missing the last race with that injured hand. There goes Marmajowska in fourth. And it's Alessandra Keller there in 5th place. Tauber 6th. Pauline Ferrand-Prévot right behind them. But already Neff has opened up a fair lead on that long descent back to the bottom of this, what they call the wall. You can see why. It's literally a wall in front of you as you peer at the bottom of it. There's Langvad. Keller looking to make a move on the side. Wow, this is bad news for Emily Batty. The chain's dropped off that bike. So Batty losing time and positions. Gunri Adala now up to 2nd place here on the 2nd lap. Tauber now in 3rd. Langvad right at the back of this leading pack. And Gunri Adala looking dangerous here. 4 times she's been on the podium. 45 years old. 20 years older than Jolanda Neff, the woman chasing her. Flying down this technical descent. Kate Courtney leaves the dust. And here's Emily Batty already making up some good time after that problem. Determined ride from the Canadian. Back onto the wall we go then for the 2nd time. Bar to bar. Neff against Gunn-Rita Dahler, the most successful World Cup female race that there's ever been. 29 World Cup wins to her name. Would you believe it? Anna Tauber now, 3rd place for her as the leaders go through the tech and feed zone. Intriguing race, nothing in it at the moment. So Gunri Adala chasing, as is last week's winner, Maja Włoszczowska, currently in 4th.
Maja Włoszczowska, 34 years old, winning World Cup races 14 years apart.
I don't know, since my last victory in the World Cup race is like 6 years, so it was in 2012. But actually the first one that I won was, I think, in 2004.
Maybe the next win won't take her 6 more years.
The one now in Val di Sole was maybe the more unexpected, but also it's the one that I'm almost like proud the most, because I think I wasn't the strongest rider from the field that day, but I just used all the opportunities and I used the cards that I had that day to play the game the best I could, and I had victory thanks to that.
That's really steep there, look at it. Maja Włoszczowska. The fastest lap of the race goes to her though.
I was just like trying to see how they are racing, and they were fighting for the position all the time, like Pauline, Jolanda and Emily. And sometimes I was losing some time on the uphills because I was just weaker. But then I noticed that anyway I can catch them soon on the technical parts when they had to slow down anyway.
So Marta Włoszczowska looking good there at the front now. She's won here in the past. Look how much time she's pulled out. The 2010 winner on this course.
I was just thinking that, okay, if I don't try, then I never know. And if they will catch me, then I can try again on the next lap. And then I saw that immediately I got a few seconds of gap and I just went full gas the next lap. I'm happy that I was not looking back because when I saw the replay, the girls were like all the time just a few seconds behind me.
And everyone fighting to go with her, all up out of the saddles there. Marta Włoszczowska takes the win. A fantastic result for the rider from Poland.
I would love to win as many as I can, and for sure now I'm really motivated, and the victory in Vallnord gave me really like a good kick and a boost of motivation and confidence.
Neff charging away again at the front. Another small gap she opened up on the descent. This woman to try and close on the climbs. Lap 3 then. Not even at the halfway point yet. And Dahla looking strong. And Emily Batty now moving forwards even further then. Getting around Marta Włoszczowska and Anna Talba. Canadian riding herself right back into this. So an intriguing battle here in the Pyrenees between two generations of women. So, Gunrita Dahla still sitting behind Yolanda on lap 4. There's her husband and coach. And he shouted something in Norwegian that none of us can understand. And Gunrita Dahla looks to put in a small attack. Here's 3rd, 4th and 5th. What a ride from Emily Batty to ride herself back into contention. And there is Annika Langvad, a little further back today. Penultimate lap. And Emily Batty has ridden away from Anna Talba and Marta Włoszczowska. And Gunrita Dahla now leading on the last lap then. Her husband's a fit man to keep up with her. Here comes Yolanda Neff, 29 seconds back now. So it looks like Gunrita Dahla has broken her. Unbelievable, Gunrita Dahla. 45 years old, 23rd World Cup season, can you believe? She started racing World Cups when this woman, Yolanda Neff, was just 2 years old. That gives you some idea how long Gunrita has been at the top of this sport. You can hear the effort from Neff, fighting the altitude. But she couldn't match this woman today. 30 World Cup wins for the greatest female World Cup racer the sport has ever seen. Gunrita Dahla races further into the history books. She is sensational. What an incredible athlete. She won her first World Cup 22 years ago. It's a great ride though for Yolanda Neff. 2nd place, barely the energy to lift her arm. Oh. Finds the energy from somewhere to congratulate Gunrita. Oh, what a tough day these have had, these riders. Emily Batty takes 3rd.
And Talba finishes 4th, and last race winner Marta Włoszczowska finishes 5th. But the woman of the day is 45-year-old Gunrita Dahla with her 30th World Cup win.
The plan before we started this season was to have my last UCI World Cup in La Bresse, but I'm not convinced at the moment. So this makes the decision even worse and more difficult, I believe. No, I will make my decision after the Worlds, but I would love to continue. Just have to talk to family and some sponsors, and then we will see.
Yolanda Neff extends her lead over Annika Langvad, who finished in 8th position. Marta Włoszczowska moved up to 3rd, and Pauline Ferrand-Prévot drops from 3rd to 5th place on the overall rankings.
I was well prepared and I was going for it, but yeah, that one mistake cost me a lot of time. So the rest of the race was just a matter of trying to make up that time, and just came short. But third is pretty good for today.
It's her third World Cup podium of the year. Jolanda Neff will extend in the overall standings, but today does belong to the oldest woman ever to win a World Cup. Gunri Tadala delivers.
In the men's race, everyone is expecting Nino Schurter to take his third win of the season and his 30th World Cup win, but there are new challengers rising who stepped up their game, like Enrique Avancini. Last year in Andorra, he secured his first ever top 10 result.
I needed to adjust here and there, some really small things, and once I did, the top 10 was easy, just happened.
Last week in Vallnord, he achieved his first top 5 result.
It was my first step, the first time that I stepped on a World Cup podium, so I was pretty stoked after the race.
The key to his success, his fast starts.
I mean, most of the times we go flat out at the beginning, so we go straight into the hurt box. And once you realize that you have a lot of lactate on the legs, you still need to go for maybe 1 hour 20, 1 hour 30.
Avancini, we see him as a fast starter.
But during the course of the race, he fell back, losing a few places.
You just need to be really strong mentally, because sometimes the first 5 minutes or 10 minutes are quite easy to me. But once the guys overtake you, you need to find a good balance mentally.
He's proved that he's mentally strong enough to establish himself at the very top, but the high altitude in Andorra adds another obstacle.
As a mountain biker, you need to learn to go deep into the pain cave, and the altitude gives a bit different spice on that.
He performed well here last year, and he is definitely on the rise.
I still believe that I can do even bigger things during this season, a bit more than just a podium. I still feel fresh, for the season. This is the best for a professional rider. I'm still enjoying every pedal stroke, every race, every training session, and I'm really enjoying my life on the bike. This is the best.
So the men take to the start line then. 8 laps. Charging down the tarmac onto the gravel. Are they going to get around this first turn safely? Look at the pace of them. You wouldn't believe the air is thin up here. Mathieu van der Poel, second place, chasing at the moment as they come down this dual slalom section. Lars Forster leads. Sam Gay's there in third place. Nino Schurter, though, not too long before he gets to the front. Of course it's not. He's won the last 3 World Cups of this year, beaten only at round 1 by Sam Gay's. Kirschbaumer goes through in second place. And now Kirschbaumer takes to the front. This is the man that pushed Nino Schurter every inch of the way in Vallnord a week ago. Henrik Avancini crosses the line. Third place ahead of Mathieu van der Poel. But Kirschbaumer in a rich vein of form at the moment and not scared of the world champion. Charging down these descents. There's third, fourth and fifth. Saru, Avancini, van der Poel. And on the wall they are again. Lap 3 already, and we've got a problem. That is the rear derailleur off Manuel Fumic's bike. It's going to be a retirement for the German. And here's Mathieu van der Poel and Henrik Avancini battling for the second time this weekend.
With 2 short track wins in 3 races, Mathieu van der Poel came into Vallnord with the bullseye on his back. Curiously, World Cup overall leader Nino Schurter was still waiting for his first short track win, something that he wanted to change in Andorra.
I have to see how the race is going. I'm sure it's not going to be that hard racing from the beginning. I think everybody's trying to save a bit for Sunday.
Quite the contrary, as the men proved once more a frantic start leads to an even more frantic race pace. After recording the first ever cross-country elite podium for a Brazilian rider on Sunday, Enrique Avancini used his momentum and attacked on lap 2.
I've been struggling a little bit with the format so far. I always had really strong legs, but I was always getting lost in the middle of the race.
This time, however, Avancini countered all attacks and stayed in the lead group. On the penultimate lap, just like in Vallnord just 1 week ago, Mathieu van der Poel tried to punish his competitors on the race's only real climb, but this time it turned out differently.
It was the legs were fine, but the breathing there was a little bit difficult. It's something different here in altitude.
Enrique Avancini became the first Brazilian to win a race on a cross-country bike, writing national sports history for a second consecutive week.
We delivered the plan and worked it out, so I'm really happy. And this win goes to Brazil. Really special moment to me.
Van der Poel came in second. Vallnord cross-country runner-up Gerhard Kirschbaumer confirmed his good form with a third place in Vallnord's short track.
The race was really good. I am in good shape and I hope I can also strong on Sunday.
7 men finished within 4 seconds of each other. Despite his 4th place, Nino Schurter's World Cup overall lead is still a healthy 286 points. Enrique Avancini improves from 5th to 4th in the overall.
So Kirschbaumer now taking it to Schurter. Remember, he closed down on Nino all through that race last week. It was Schurter in the end that took it. And there goes Van der Poel ahead of Avancini. Jordan Sarru now fighting to get on the back wheel of those two. So, climbing onwards they go. Kirschbaumer, a 2-time under-23 world champion. The Olympic champion behind him, 6 times an elite world champion. And Kirschbaumer again opening up a gap on this climb. Lap 5 of 8, remember, so it's definitely around the time when these riders start to get tired. And there's Mathieu van der Poel digging deep on this climb. So Kirschbaumer started to ride away with this one. Schurter struggling to go with him. And van der Poel having a lonely ride in 3rd. So Kirschbaumer, last lap. Is he riding towards his first ever World Cup win? Nino Schurter goes out onto the last lap, but he's 39 seconds back. I don't think even Schurter can pull back that sort of time. And here's the battle for 4th place. Sarru now getting ahead of Henrik Avancini. Van der Poel still on his own in 3rd. Schurter trying to close the gap, but it's going to be to no avail. He's been the quickest on those descents all day, but he couldn't catch this man. Kirschbaumer is king of the Pyrenees. He takes his first ever elite World Cup win by some margin. Only the 2nd rider in 11 World Cup races to beat the Olympic champion. And here comes Nino Schurter. It's been a tough day for everyone up here at altitude. 2nd place, the number 1 plate is safe. Schurter looks happy enough with that though. And here comes Mathieu van der Poel. Rode his own race today. Over 2 minutes back at the end. And Avancini, 4th place again for the Brazilian. What a couple of weekends he's had.
It means a lot. 1 week ago I was 2nd behind Nino, and today it was amazing.
Gerhard Kirschbaumer takes his first ever World Cup win. Jordan Sarru crossed the line in 5th position, but Nino Schurter misses out on taking his 30th World Cup win.
Yeah, I wasn't prepared for this one. I haven't done any altitude training this year, so I wasn't 100% prepared for this one. I hope months and then I'm again in top shape and I can battle again for the win.
Nino Schurter still has a clear lead in the overall standings. Mathieu van der Poel remains second and Enrique Avancini overtook Maxime Marot to third.
The former cyclocross world champion continues to impress in mountain biking. Nino Schurter, the Olympic champion, takes second. But it's King Kirschbaumer who comes out on top in Andorra. We will see you next time from the classic stop of Mont Saint Anne in Canada. It's going